Hi there everybody, it's UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Halsey here from SlimmandStylish.stampingup.net. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm saying goodbye to the old annual catalogue, ready to welcome in the new annual catalogue that will be coming out in May. For anyone who's shopped with me since January this year, I will be sending you a complimentary catalogue out in the post. But if you haven't shopped with me and you would like to see the new catalogue, I send them out free within the UK, so just give me a nudge and I will pop one in the post to you. But over the week, I'm going to be saying goodbye to some of my retiring favourites from the annual catalogue. So do make sure that you've subscribed to my channel and you'll be able to see a new project each day saying goodbye to some of the stamp sets that I've had over the year and thoroughly enjoyed using. There's a whole heap of stuff that's retiring, which is dead exciting for me because after having them for a year, I'm a little bit bored of a few of them now and I want some new goodies to play with. So let me have a talk to you about what is going, and then you can head over to my store, SlimmandStylish.stampinup.net, and check out the clearance. Some of these products are up to 60% off, but when they're gone, they're gone. So get there quick. The clearance sale is on for a month, but like I said, once they're gone, they're gone. Okay? One of the things that's the big talking point about the new catalogue is that we're having a colour refresh. This is quite exciting for me. One of my favouriteest ever colours is coming back and a few of the other colours are going. So what I'm going to do before I start this project is talk you through which colours are staying and which colours are going. And then as soon as I've done that, I'm going to start on saying goodbye to a stamp set and I'll create a card using it. And I'm going to bring a different video to you each day. So heading to the colour section of the annual catalogue, let me tell you what's going. So the 2021-2023 in colours, let me talk in colours to you. We have 5 new in colours come every year and they last for 2 years. So these ones here came 2 years ago and now they are retiring. And the ones to the left of it, they come last year and they'll have them for another year. What's great about this is Fresh Freesia, which is this end one, which was my favourite in colour, is actually staying in the colour refresh and is going to become a core colour. So we're saying goodbye to Polished Pink, Pale Papaya, Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent, but we're keeping Fresh Freesia. Over in the Brights collection, we're saying goodbye to Mango Melody, goodbye to Bermuda Bay and goodbye to Pacific Point. Now I am a little bit upset about Mango Melody and Bermuda Bay because they were my 2 favourite colours. They're the only 2 colours that are going that I'm genuinely upset about. The others, I can't wait to see the replacements. Over in the Neutrals collection, we're getting rid of Merry Mallow, Soft Suede and Sahara Sand, and we'll be getting 3 new colours coming to this collection. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and I will show you all of the new colours when they become available. Regal's collection, we are losing Rich Razzleberry at the very end. Rich Razzleberry. We're losing that colour at the very end. So we're just losing 1 out of that collection. The Subtles collection we're losing the most out of. So we're going to be losing 4 colours from here. We're losing Blush and Bride, So Saffron, Pear Pizzazz and Mint Macaron. So the 4 of them will be going and we'll be getting 4 new Subtles colours. Now, as I said, do pay attention to my channel as I will show you all of the new colours and projects to make with them. So today we're going to be saying goodbye to a stamp set. Now I'm going to be putting a different video out each week. It'll have this same front, but the rest of it will be a different card. So let's see which of my favourite stamp sets we're saying goodbye to today. And don't forget to head over to SlimmandStylish.stampinup.net to pick up any of the retiring goodies from the catalogue. And this is today's card. I love this one. What a happy day with the cute little elephant. This is using the Elephant Parade Cling Mount stamp set. I've loved this one. It has only been in this annual, so I feel like as we've only had it for 12 months, I'm not ready to really see it go yet. It is so cute. Look at this little guy and his smile and his happy little trunk swinging. I have used this set so much. It's brilliant. So today's card, I'm going to be using it again as one of my retiring favourites. And as I've said in all of these videos, if you like it, it's only available while stocks last. We've also got the 3D Hive embossing folder and the stitch rectangles, as both of these are retiring as well. So I'm going to be making use of these on the project so that you can see them all again one last time. As with Elephant Parade, they're only available while stocks last at SlimmandStylish.stampinup.net. Get on there and get them quick if you like them. So I'm going to be using this one today. He's my second favourite of the elephants. I have liked the one walking along swinging his trunk the most. But yes, I'm using this one. He's sitting up and he's cute, and I thought it would make a cute little baby card. So I'm going to pop him onto the block. Those dimensional backings get everywhere, don't they? And I'm going to be using my Memento ink pad, and I'm just going to pop him onto a scrap piece of basic white. I'm going to cut him out with the stitch rectangles, so you don't need a massive great big piece, but just beware that you don't want him on the edge of it either, because you want to be able to make a space around him. Now I've done that, I'm going to be colouring him in with my blends. So I'm going to be using Crumb Cake Light and Dark, and I'm going to be putting the dark over the shaded aspects of his face. So I'm just doing his wrinkle lines, his eyebrows, a little bit of hair, a bit on the top of each of the ears, and then I'm going to go down the left-hand side of him, just where a shadow might be, and I'm going to do each of his little toe beans as well. Once that's done, I'm going to be coming in with the light crumb cake, and I'm just going to blend over the whole lot. So first of all, I'm coming with the big brush tip. Now, I'm not very neat when I use the brush tip. My hands shake. I'm not the most stable of people with the blends. So what I'm doing with the brush tip is just getting as much ink as possible, but you'll notice I'm not going towards the edges. I'm now going to turn it around to the bullet point tip, and I'm going to do the finer detail. So this is where I'm going to be blending in the dark with the light, and I'm going to bring that a little bit into his body. I'm going to go back around his toes and around his body so that he is covered and he doesn't have any white left, and that's blended in nicely. And exactly the same, I'm going around his face and his trunk with it as well. The brush tip, the thicker one, gets the ink on the paper quite quick and releases a lot more ink, so it's brilliant for blending. But in fine detail and around the edges, I'm just not confident with it. I know I would make a mistake, and I didn't want to do that to my little guy. I'm going to be using one of the skin tone blends. I'm going to be using the SU900 to do the inside of his ears. And when I use the SU900, what I'm also going to do is go over his toe beans again and go over his tail, just so that it just has a slight change in colour pigment. It won't be that noticeable because it's going on top of the crumb cake, but it will just show that they're slightly different to the others, and it will just create the extra tone, which I quite like. So just inside his ears and his toesies. Now I'm going to be using the stitch rectangles. I hadn't worked out which size I wanted to use beforehand, so I'm going to try a couple of them. And this is what's great about dies, isn't it? Like, you can pop them over the top. Sometimes on punches you can't see, but on a die you can layer it on top and you can work out, hang on, I'm cutting his ears off. I don't want to cut his ears off, so I'm going to get a slightly bigger die cut and I'm going to pop that over him and not cut his ears off. So that's the one I'm going to use. Now, if you do get these or you've already got them, the hint here when you do your die cutting is to put them in at a slight angle. If you put them in straight, it's going to create a speed bump type idea. It's going to be harder to get your wheel over in the big shot or your stamp and cut and emboss. So just pop it slightly diagonally and it will roll up and roll back down much easier. Once you've used the stitch rectangles, it can be quite hard to get these out because they're stitched on both sides. So you can always use your take a pick tool. This is carrying over. It's still going to be in the new catalogue. Woohoo! And we're getting some new attachment heads for it. Plot spoiler, there's new attachment heads coming, which are going to be great. Anyway, you can use that just to go around the edge and it will relieve the pressure on the stitching and it will pull out your panel. So next up is going to be my card base. So my card base is 10.5 centimetres by 14.8 centimetres. So for the background, I did look at adding some more detail, but decided to just leave it with my elephant in the end. And instead, I'm going to emboss the backing piece. So I'm going to emboss the whole piece, and I'm going to be using the 3D Hive embossing folder. This embossing folder is lovely, and it's really, really detailed, which is great. Pop it through either your Big Shot or your cut and emboss machine. Now, If you're using the Big Shot or the cut and emboss machine, just take a plate off. So your sandwich should be the base, the 3D embossing folder and a plate at the top. Don't put both plates, otherwise it will squish it too much and it will break. So I'm going to pop my little elephant on like that, but I just need a sentiment first. So the sentiment I'm going to be using is this one, What a Happy Day. Love that. That could be used for so many different things. For this one, because it's going to be a little boy card, it's for a little boy. But you could use it for a birthday, anniversary, anything like that. So I'm just mounting that up and I'm going to stamp it out onto a scrap piece of basic white. Now I'm also going to be running this through the Big Shot and cutting it out using the stitch rectangles as well. So do leave a gap around the edges, as you can see that I've done. Get your thin one. So these come in different lengths and different widths. And you can pop it on like that and you can die cut that one out. Exactly the same advice, put it in at a slant rather than as a full piece. Then once it's out, I'm just going to pop this. I was looking at the bottom of the card, but I decided to put some ribbon on in the end. So I moved it up towards the top when I put the ribbon on. Now the ribbon I'm going to be using is this gradient ribbon. Love it. It's ombre, pool party and basic white. And as you can see, it was the first time I'd used it, so I was having to open it. This is carryover. So this was in the mini catalogue and it's carrying over to the annual catalogue. So I'm quite excited about using it. Now, if you haven't used this one, we did have an ombre one before that was like a petal pink and white, and that was beautiful. And the thing I really love about these is they scratch. Now, I know that sounds weird, but they're not smooth, they're not silky. They're a bit scratchy. And as you actually make the bows, it clings to the rest of the material, which I know I'm not describing that very well, but it makes for awesome bows. They don't fall apart and they hold together really, really well. I love it when we get ribbons like this because it just makes, it doesn't feel fantastically nice on your hand, but it makes it dead easy for card making. So if you want a good ribbon, this is the one to get. Now, I did make, in hindsight, a little bit of a mistake here, and I wish I'd rectified it, but I didn't. What I did is I put a faux bow on the top, which was fine. I like faux bows, but what I probably should have done is bunched the ribbon up. Okay, so what I mean is I've put a straight line of ribbon across the card. Absolutely fine for a normal faux bow that is the same width as the ribbon, but I actually pulled the bow tighter and smaller than the ribbon when I get to making it. So what I should have done was popped a strip of adhesive where the bow is going to go and bunched that ribbon. So the straight ribbon there just underneath my hands, just bunched it into one go there, so it looked like a more realistic faux bow. I didn't do it, I wish I had done, but I still like the outcome of the card. So if you're doing it, it's up to you which way you do it. I think I would have preferred it if it had been bunched. Anyway, back onto making my bow. As I said, this is quite simple with this ribbon. It sticks to the other side, so it's really easy and it's not going to fall apart. Sometimes I worry with the silk ribbons if when they are received by the recipients, if they're still as I made them. Okay, so I'm going to cut these to be quite thin bottoms and quite high ears. So it looks like a big bow, but realistically it doesn't hang off the card because I haven't given it that much space. So I'm only cutting it sort of about an inch underneath where the bow is. And then I'm going to add some adhesive onto the card and stick it on the adhesive. And you can see what I mean here about it being very obvious it's a faux bow because the knot of the bow is smaller than the ribbon behind it, and you can see that peeking through. But it's still a beautiful card. I still like it. So to finish it off, I'm going to add it onto a card base and add some embellishments. The card bases I have are the thick basic cardstock. They've already been cut and scored, so I'm basically just going to be burnishing it. So what I do is I cut my thick basic cardstock in half at 14.8 centimetres, and then I score it at 10.5 centimetres, which creates a A6 card base once folded. So just fold it over, use your bone folder, and that way you get nice crisp lines and it stands up a lot better, and then stick it down. For the final bit of embellishing, I'm going to be using adhesive back sequins. These are the ones that are in the mini catalogue, and they have 3 gorgeous colours, pink, blue and gold, and these are retiring as well. So these will also be on the clearance lists. So if you like these, make sure you get them as your last chance. Otherwise, they're gone. And in my view, these adhesive back sequins are the best to use because they're so clean and tidy. They're not messy like normal sequins. Take them off, stick them down. Dead simple. Well, there you go. There's my card. What do you think? Isn't he gorgeous? Don't forget, this and all of the other products that I've been featuring in this series are retiring. So they are on a first come, first serve basis. And once they're out of stock, they're gone. Head over and get them from slimandstylish.stampinup.net. See you all soon. Bye.